Florence, a jewel in the vast Roman Empire during the rule of Emperor Caligula, was a city of grandeur, excess, and simmering discontent. Its cobbled streets and imposing architecture were a testament to the opulence and power of the Roman aristocracy. The city, bathed in Mediterranean sunlight, seemed to glow with a decadence that masked the suffering of its citizens. In the heart of this metropolis lived Lucius Fabius Maximus, the only son of Gaius Maximus, a man of immense wealth and political influence. Lucius, in his early 20s, possessed a keen intellect, a charismatic charm, and an unshakable sense of justice that set him apart from his aristocratic peers. Lucius's education was carefully overseen by his tutor Seneca, a respected philosopher known for his wisdom and ethics. Under Seneca's guidance, Lucius had cultivated a strong sense of morality and a desire to see a more just Rome. Lucius's closest confidant was Titus Aemilius, the son of his father's business partner. Their friendship was built on shared ideals and dreams for a better Rome. Together, they often contemplated the inequalities and injustices that plagued their society, driven by a shared desire for change. Emperor Caligula, infamous for his capricious behavior and extravagant lifestyle, arrived in Florence. His opulent entourage and excessive banquets were a source of outrage among the Roman citizens, who struggled under the weight of heavy taxation and inequality. The grandeur of the city's architecture stood in stark contrast to the suffering of the common people. One fateful night, as Caligula reveled in drunken debauchery, he took to the streets and challenged those he encountered to duels, reveling in the chaos that ensued. His actions were a brazen display of disrespect to the Roman populace, and the commotion quickly spread. Lucius and Titus, having recently witnessed the suffering of the impoverished in a visit to the city's outskirts, heard the commotion. Lucius's sense of justice was ignited, and without fully realizing the consequences of his words, he boldly declared, "This is disrespectful to the people of Rome. I will put an end to this madness." Caligula, intrigued by Lucius's audacity, accepted his challenge, finding amusement in the audacious young man who dared to confront an emperor. The drunken ruler, his judgment clouded by revelry, wagered his throne, his heart filled with hubris. The duel took place in the midst of a hushed and expectant crowd. Lucius, driven by his principles and with Seneca's philosophical teachings echoing in his mind, faced the erratic and inebriated emperor. The clash was intense, a dance of skill and resolve, with the Roman citizens looking on in a mixture of awe and fear. Amidst the clash of steel, the emperor's skill was undeniable. Drunk he might be, but Caligula was a formidable adversary. The duel seemed evenly matched, and the tension in the air was palpable. "You challenge me?" Caligula sneered, his words slurred. "Do you truly believe you can defeat an emperor, young one?" Lucius, his determination unwavering, responded, "I challenge you not as an emperor, but as a man who disrespects the very people he should protect. Your actions are an affront to the principles of justice and humanity." The duel continued, each clash of swords symbolizing the struggle between an idealistic youth and a tyrannical ruler. Lucius's passion and Seneca's teachings fueled his resolve, while Caligula's arrogance and inebriation proved to be his weaknesses. In a moment of desperation, as the duel reached its climax, Lucius was slashed across the face, losing an eye but not his determination. With a last, desperate thrust, he drove his sword into the emperor's chest. The drunken ruler fell to the ground, defeated and dying. Caligula, in his final moments, gazed at Lucius with a mixture of shock and appreciation. He whispered, "You have won, young one. Rome is yours now. Make it just." Lucius watched as the light in the emperor's eyes dimmed, realizing the magnitude of his actions and the weight of responsibility that now rested on his shoulders. As the lifeless body of Emperor Caligula lay on the streets of Florence, Lucius, with blood on his hands, stood as the unexpected victor. He had become the new Roman emperor, thrust into a position of power he had never sought or imagined. Lucius felt the eyes of the Florence citizens upon him, their expressions a mix of awe and uncertainty. He knew that he had a momentous task ahead of him, one that would require wisdom, integrity, and the strength to navigate the treacherous world of Roman politics. Lucius turned to Titus, who had been present throughout the duel, sharing in the perilous journey that had led to this moment. Their shared ideals and unyielding friendship would become invaluable as they embarked on the transformative journey of ruling an empire and steering Rome towards a more just future. As emperor, Lucius was determined to make Rome a more just and equitable place for its citizens. His first act was to address the oppressive tax policies that had burdened the common people for so long. Inspired by Seneca's teachings on ethics and fairness, Lucius implemented a series of tax reforms. He reduced the tax burden on the impoverished and imposed heavier taxes on the wealthy aristocracy, including his own father. The old oligarchic families, accustomed to wielding unchecked power and influence, resisted these changes vehemently. Lucius knew that dismantling their hold on Rome would not be easy. With Titus by his side, they embarked on a journey to navigate the treacherous waters of political intrigue and secure their vision of a more just empire. Lucius's efforts to dismantle the oligarchy were met with fierce resistance, knowing the kindness of the new emperor and abusing it. The powerful aristocrats conspired to undermine his rule and protect their privileged positions. In the shadows of the grand palaces and luxurious villas of Florence, they plotted to regain their lost influence. The struggle for power escalated into a political and sometimes covert battle. Lucius and Titus, guided by their shared ideals, worked tirelessly to weaken the grip of the old aristocracy. Their methods ranged from legal reforms and reshuffling of power structures to covert investigations and clever alliances. Oligarchs that refused to submit to the new way of Rome were met with heavy taxes and legal proceedings where the emperor had the final word. Although he wanted to rule fairly, the oligarchs had never played fairly, so discreet operations to expose conspiracy and corruption were set up throughout the empire. Oligarchs that saw the repercussions soon began to use their wealth to invest in their communities rather than take, knowing that the kind emperor was not weak. Lucius even exposed his own father in a public court proceeding and banished him to beyond Britannia. He had done this to send the message that no one was above justice, not even his family. Throughout their rule, Lucius and Titus remained vigilant, knowing that their enemies were everywhere. Assassination attempts were a constant threat, and Lucius had to rely on a network of loyal spies and advisors to protect his reign. Lucius and Titus's tireless efforts to reform the empire began to bear fruit. As years passed, Rome saw a gradual shift in power dynamics, as the influence of the old oligarchic families waned. Lucius's reign was marked by a dedication to fairness, a commitment to the welfare of the common people, and the gradual establishment of a more just and equal society. The streets of Florence, once echoing with the cries of the oppressed, now resonated with hope. Lucius's leadership had initiated a transformation that rippled through the empire, impacting the lives of its citizens in ways that no one could have foreseen. The years passed swiftly, and as Lucius approached his 50th birthday, he looked back on a life marked by transformation and dedication. His reign had indeed ushered in an era of change and justice, and the people of Rome held him in high regard. However, in the world of power and politics, not everyone celebrated Lucius's vision. The remaining loyalists of the old oligarchic families could not forget the losses they had suffered. Among them was the illegitimate child of Emperor Caligula, who had harbored a deep-seated desire for revenge and his place on the throne. On the eve of Lucius's 50th birthday, as he celebrated his many accomplishments and the just and equitable society he had worked so hard to build, tragedy struck. Poison had been quietly slipped into his drink, and Lucius fell victim to an assassin's plot. As the poison took hold, Lucius's strength waned. He knew that his time was drawing to a close, but he was at peace, knowing that he had fulfilled his mission to make Rome a better place. Titus, who had been with him throughout their shared journey, stood by his side in his final moments, heart heavy with grief. With his last breath, Lucius whispered, "Rome is in good hands. Remember the ideals we shared, my friend. Rome is yours. Keep it just." And so, Lucius Fabius Maximus, the unexpected emperor who had dared to challenge an unjust ruler, passed away on his 50th birthday, 27 years after ascending to the throne. His legacy lived on in the hearts of the Roman citizens and the new Emperor Titus, who continued to strive for the just and equitable society Lucius had envisioned. The memory of his transformative reign endured, a testament to the enduring power of ideals and the strength of friendship in the face of adversity. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's story as much as I enjoyed writing it. Make sure to leave a like and comment if I should continue this one. Until next time, take care.